Police running all in and out the building. What the hell is going on?
Mark Davis said, what?
What up, Lo?
Hey, what's good? What's good? What's good, YouTube? What's good? Raider Nation, we are in the building. Shout out to everybody in the chat, everybody that's in the YouTube universe. We are here. Hey, look, Mark Davis. Hey, look, before we get into all that, I got to give y'all the Raider Twuan. Brown cracker salute. Remember, there is no Raider Twuan without the congregation. And there's no congregation without the Raider Nation. Salute. Hey, if you want to be a part of the congregation, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's completely free to do. All right, and congregation, you guys already know what you guys got to do.
Fucking Stizan.
Twuan, hey Twuan, hit that like button. Why? Because I like you.
That's right. Go ahead and hit that like button. And deacons, get on your job. Go ahead and put the live, the chat, you know what I'm saying? Congregation, you can join on in with this too. Go ahead and share this out, okay? Share this out to your friends, my friends, your mama, your baby mama. Put it in a face, put it in a Moco space, put it in a Facebook, and make sure that Raider Twuan in the congregation is in the place. All right? Hey, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and share, hit that like button, and subscribe. Right? Tonight we talking about Mark Davis, because Mark Davis came out and spit some hot fire. You know what I'm saying? And I'll break it down even more as we get into it, and discuss it. Right? Discuss what was actually said, and because I'm a language type of person, I'm gonna break down some things that maybe you didn't look at in regards to Mark Davis. Right? We're gonna break it all down for you on today. So definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as we go along, as people are coming in and are in the chat. Salute to everybody in the chat. Let's get it in. All right. Hey, look, you know me. Every time I come and I got my handy dandy notebook. All right. So we're gonna get into this notebook. We're gonna get into this here. Give me 1 second. As I do a little housekeeping. Yes, sir. All right. So if you have not heard it, Mark Davis had some words at the introductory press conference. And at that press conference, there was a whole lot that was said. There was a whole lot of information in which we got to break down. Actually, what I'm going to do, for those that may not know, I'm actually going to play it for you guys. If you guys have not listened to it, and then we'll go in. I'll break it down piece by piece for you, because that's what we do around here. You know what I'm saying? I break it down so you guys can understand what I'm putting down. All right. Daniel Berry's in the building. Good to see you, Daniel Berry. All right, let me find it, and then I'm gonna play it. Salute, salute, salute. As we waiting for commercials, let me see if I can find Mark Davis. I think I got a Mark Davis on my I deleted it. But speaking of Mark Davis, let's look at Al Davis. What did Al Davis say?
That somewhere within the first 5 to 10 plays of a game, the other team's quarterback must go down, and he must go down hard.
You feel me? Hey, yes, sir. Hey, we gonna get into it.
Well, I guess.
Here we go.
I guess I don't know how far back to go, but let's go back to October when Tom Brady, Tom Wagner, and Richard Seymour were approved as owners of the team. I made this statement back then that it wasn't all about price, but it was.
Can you guys hear that? Let me know if you guys can hear that.
Bring to the organization, and that there would be a couple of more people coming in shortly, and then in December, Egon Durbin and Mike Meldman came in as partners, and so with Tom Wagner and Egon and Mike, they're just brilliant business people, and they were going to add to the infrastructure of the business side of this organization, as well as some things on the other side. But bringing in Tom Brady was bringing in somebody that was on the football side that I had been lacking having here at the organization. Back in, I guess it was 18, with John Gruden. He was somebody that I brought in and really expected to be that person on the football side that would bring stability to the organization. He had a 10-year contract and all that, and his head was chopped off. And we were put in a really bad position as an organization. And we tried to get it right with Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler. That didn't work out. Antonio Pierce was given the interim job, and I believe the job that he did as an interim coach warranted him earning the job as head coach of the Raiders. Last season didn't go as what we had hoped it would. 3 teams in our division were in the playoffs. The Chiefs are in the Super Bowl for the 3rd time in a row, and we just felt that it was time for a change. So now I go back to the infrastructure that we built up here in the organization over the during the season with the people that we brought in. We also, the process was a little bit different this year, and going after the head coach, we hired Corn Ferry and a fellow by the name of Jed Hughes, and Jed helped us to identify and coordinate certain people that we were interested in interviewing, as well as some that they had on their thing. And so the interview group was myself, Tom Brady, Mike Meldman, Egon Durbin, and Tom Wagner, with help in the background with Sandra Morgan, and Larry Delson, and Tom Delaney. And we went through a very rigorous process of interviewing people. And by the time we were done, we knew that it was going to be, there were 3 or 4 people that we were truly interested in. And when one person made a decision to go to another team, it became clear that Pete was going to be our guy. And on the other side of the coin, Spytek, John Spytek, really impressed us from the get-go, and so he was chosen as the general manager. The interview with Pete was one of the first ones we did. It might have been the first one we did, and his energy was amazing. It's funny, when my mom found out Carroll was going to be the head coach. My mom's Carroll Davis. She just turned 93. She thought we were talking about her, but I told her, no, we're doing Pete Carroll because we're looking for youth. So that's how that worked out. But Pete, I've watched Pete for a number of years. I watched him at USC, and where I really watched him was when he was in Seattle and competing with the 49ers. And the Niners were the bully on the block. And Seattle actually was one of the one teams that figured out how to beat him and beat him pretty damn good. So I was impressed with Pete's, again, he brings up the word competitiveness. And I think that shows throughout his career. And he's a football guy. He loves football. And he wanted to be a Raider.
Mark, how have you changed over your process of an as an owner?
Well, every day you learn. And you just try to learn from things, and that's what you do.
Did you think you had Ben Johnson?
What's that?
Did you think you had Ben Johnson?
No, we didn't think we had Ben Johnson. We never made an offer to Ben Johnson. And he's a Chicago Bear.
When you looked at John Spytek and what he was able to help do in Tampa Bay, building up all those draft classes, how did you imagine him being able to do that here?
Well, I'm hoping he can do it here, and that's why he's here. Again, he worked with Tom Brady there. He brought Tom Brady in with the group there, and to my chagrin. But they won a Super Bowl. But everything I've heard about him from other people and talking to people outside the organization and other organizations, he's a home run.
Someone needs a new job.
All right. Obviously, they hit me with the commercial, but we gonna get through the commercial. Shout out to everybody in there. You know what I'm saying, in the chat. I see you guys. Tanner Jack is in the building. Ray Love, I see you. Good to see you. Navy Vet, good to see you, my guy. We're gonna break this down. I'm just gonna play it for you guys, and then we're gonna get right back in and break it all down what Mark Davis is talking about.
Things Pete said, he made it clear a few times that he's going for it immediately, trying to win right away, and trying to go all in to do so. Is that sort of the message that you sent? It's kind of an edict for them to take on? Or was
No, that's not the message that we sent. We want to build something here. And again, that's been the process and the mindset all along. Like I said, it got offset or, kind of blown up when John Gruden was sent away. And so we've been trying to get it right since then. And we'll see. But I've got patience to get it right. And I think we've got the people now. Again, I've always felt that. And results are what speak to me. And that's what we'll see. But I'm really excited about it. And hopefully this will be an annual thing.
You just, talk about, the humility, it takes as owner to defer to guys like Tom Brady and, maybe some owners would want to have the finals, to run a tight ship in that regard, but yes.
Again, I've been telling you all ever since the beginning of this that the one thing I know is what I don't know, and I'm going to surround myself with people that do know those things, and I'm going to give them the opportunity to do their job. And I give them vision, goals. We talk about those things, but results are what speak. And so it's fairly easy to do that if you understand where you are. I've been around some great football people in my lifetime. When you talk about my father, you talk about John Madden, you talk about Tom Flores, you talk about Ron Wolf, and all of these people have helped me along the way. And so I know what it takes and all of that. And I think we've got the infrastructure now in this organization to move into the future.
When Pete was in Seattle, all they talked about was his culture and what he built culture-wise, players of him today. What do you want the culture to be under Pete?
Well, again, it's the Raider way under Pete. Pete is somebody that is a winner on and off the field. And he builds a culture. I think Antonio Pierce was building a culture here with the players. And that was important. I think we have to continue to build upon that. I will say this, that team last year did not quit. And that was really one of the toughest things about making the change, was the fact that they played for him. And, it's something that I'll always be grateful for. But we'll see what we build here, but it's still the Raiders. And that's something that everybody's got to remember.
They mentioned quite a bit in the presser their love for football. They have to have guys that love football. You mentioned a bunch of guys that help influence you in football. Did you kind of get that same sense when you were hearing that for love for football guys?
I did, and I think that was one of the criteria that was given to Corn Ferry from us. That had to be one of the ingredients that the Kennedys had.
And Mark, when you say it's important to remember we're still the Raiders, what does that entail when it comes to merging that philosophy with whoever's incoming like Pete?
Well, commitment to excellence, pride and poise, just win. The greatness of the Raiders is in its future. Those are all things that are not just statements, but they're something that we live by. When you talk about Raider fans, they're not just football fans; they're fans of a way of life. And it's something that we remember around here at all times. The most valuable asset
that gives me chills every time.
And it's their blood, sweat, and tears that helped build this building right here, built that magnificent stadium, and everything else. Is things we'll never forget. So that's what it is. It's about family. It's about being a Raider. It's once a Raider, always a Raider.
When you were going through the interview process with John and with Pete, was there something that pleasantly surprised you that you learned about him that really struck out to you?
I think a lot of things, actually. I thought Pete's energy, but also Pete's again, love for the game and how badly he wanted to be a Raider. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. He wanted to be a Raider. And John, again, just at meeting him for the first time through the interview process, I was very impressed with his desire to work hard and build it the right way. So those are things that, I'm not saying they were surprising to me, but there were attributes that I was very impressed with.
You mentioned it was hard to move on from Antonio. Same with Tom Plesko. Was it a tough decision also?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they both did good things. I mean, Tom did a great job in the draft and everything else, but there's more to the job than that. And I'm grateful for him for what he did for us in the draft and those things. I'm grateful for what Antonio's done for this organization. I really am. And I absolutely wish them the best.
Some people just.
Hey, Mark Davis is giving us that hot fire. You know what I'm saying? Hey, give it up for Mark Davis for giving that hot fire. Y'all don't know what he's talking about. If y'all gotta listen to him. He got some hot fire. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let me just say this now. Obviously, I'm gonna break it down. You know what I'm saying? Even more. You know what I'm saying? I got some quotations of the discussion, you know what I'm saying? But when he started talking about, just win, baby, and the commitment to excellence, and you know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't have that boisterous swagger about himself. He's really just cool, calm, but you could just tell that even with him being calm, he means it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mark Davis, as much as some people may want to hate on him, or, as many people want to, discredit him for some of his downfalls or whatever you may want to call it, you can't deny that Mark Davis, you know what I'm saying, is a Raider. You know what I'm saying? You could tell just the way, he goes about his business. He's doing the best he can while he can. And I think that's another reason why we're in the position where we're at, getting a Pete Carroll to come over here and do what he's doing. But, yeah, man, look, Hey, there's some things in this presser. Again, I got my handy dandy notebook of things that stuck out to me. This is my Raider gospel on what Mark Davis was talking about. Definitely let me know down in the comment section your thoughts. I might, depends on how things go. I might go ahead and drop the link, so those that want to come up and talk about the press conference, we can talk about it together. But if not, it's all good. I'm just gonna say my piece, read what you guys got, and go along. So if you want to hit that like button, go ahead and hit that like button. If you have a comment, definitely, or a question, go ahead and put that down in the comment section, because I will be reading those, if they are pertaining to the topic. All right, so look, Mark Davis started off with the introductory press conference at first. And I'll tell you this, in the beginning, when he went up there to introduce, Pete Carroll and John Spytek, I really thought that he was just, when he said, "Oh, I'm gonna have a little few words afterwards," I was like, after everybody was done talking, I was like, man, where Mark Davis at? I'm ready for him to come up here and spit his Raider gospel, because I know that he has some things that he definitely wanted to get off his chest. You can kind of, I picked that up, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so I'm glad they had a little segment where he was able to sit down at the table. The people that, the press that were available there, they asked their questions. And I think they all asked good questions. I don't think there was any, what I call softball questions, just easy, things. I think Mark Davis was able to answer, all the tough questions, all the questions that honestly we thought and wanted to answer. I think it was ran well. I really think the questioning was ran well. But with Mark Davis, he said, the 10-year contract that he had with John Gruden, he started off with that. He was like, hey, I started off with Gruden, and I'm paraphrasing. He's like, hey, I started off with a 10-year deal with John Gruden. And, his intent, from there was that he wanted to have some longevity, that he wanted to have some consistency on the football end. We know that Mark Davis, his strong suit is not really on the football side. So to bring in someone like a John Gruden that knows football, that knows how to handle the football side, and give him that long contract to give that longevity, but also the consistency, right? To be able to have multiple drafts of guys that he believes is going to fit his system and how he wants to go about, working the team. I was all for it, back then with Gruden, because I felt the same way. I hated the whole carousel of coaches. I hated the whole one and dones, the whole, like it just does not do well when you're flipping, coaches, but you're not only flipping coaches, you're flipping schemes, right? And flipping schemes also means you're flipping the players, right? And there's no good, consistency of that. The positives that we have even right now with Patrick Graham is because of the consistencies that we've had in defense. You know what I'm saying? Patrick Graham will be coming back, and I believe it'll be his third or fourth year coaching this team. And that's just longevity. And again, the people that are on this roster know what's expected of them. So I understand why Mark Davis, even in the early stages of, giving Gruden that 10-year contract. Now, some people may not necessarily feel that Gruden was the guy, and was deserving of that 10-year contract, but the method, the method was exactly what we needed, in hopes of that situation. Now, he said, and these are Mark Davis's words, Mark Davis said Gruden's head was chopped off, and we know exactly what he meant by that, right? We know that there was some emails that were released, and all of a sudden we had to, against our will, we had to let go of John Gruden. And to be honest with you, if you look at what John Gruden was cooking before that, we were actually doing pretty well. You know what I'm saying? We weren't, in the playoffs or anything like that, but we were actually winning game. We were I think we were winning a game, at least, winning an extra game every year. So there was progression to what was going on, the ascendance and, the Henry Ruggs situation, right? Henry Ruggs was one of the top wide receivers that came out of the draft and was, a speedy wide receiver for us. But, at the end of that situation, even with the Ruggs situation, Ruggs was playing well and doing good. And, it's a shame that we're not able to see, the fullness of where that will pan out for us. But Gruden was cooking up something. I'll just say it like that. And Mark Davis believed in that. You know what I'm saying? He also said that because of that, Gruden getting his head chopped off, it set the organization back. His words were, we were put in a really bad position. And I think all of us as fans that have seen, the Raiders, during that time and what happened after that, we were put in a really bad position. Not just, the whole, everybody wants to talk about the money that's still owed to John Gruden and all the, 4 head coaches alone that are still on the money in regards to the books of Mark Davis, which has nothing to do with the cap, but it's still, a burden to an owner, right? We were put in a hole because of that. There was something cooking, not saying that it was a complete project, but we were going somewhere with Gruden, and then all of a sudden that got cut off, right? So he went with McDaniels, and, listening to the press conference, it's funny that, he didn't have much to say about, Josh McDaniels and Ziegler. You know what I'm saying? And I think, be honest with you, as we go along with this press conference, there's going to be things that are going to be said, but you also have to factor in the things that weren't said, right? Or not said enough of, right? And that was one of them. Josh McDaniels and Ziegler was one of those ones in this press conference that it was very minimal of a discussion about those guys. So, you can interpret that the way you want to interpret that, but the way I'm interpreting it is, it wasn't good. Okay? And to be honest with you, outside of the reality of what was going on, having an offensive coordinator that's a head coach and our offensive side of the ball is actually the one that sucks, yeah, it was bad. and to move on, talking about the decision of Antonio Pierce, right? Mark Davis said that he did well. Shout out to Raider Rebel in the building. Good to see you. He did well as an interim coach, but, along the line, because of the interim coach, he felt comfortable with allowing him to be the head coach. He felt he was deserving of a shot as a head coach. And I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that decision. I don't think there was nothing wrong with Antonio Pierce being, awarded the head coach position. He also said, and these were his words, he said, last season didn't go as well as we hoped. Okay. That was what his response was for the season under Antonio Pierce. I didn't hear any slander. I didn't hear any shade from that comment. Reading in between the lines, I think he was actually really hopeful that it would work out for Antonio Pierce. But the reality was that 3 of the 4 teams in the AFC West were teams that were in the playoffs. And Mark Davis was actually there to see that unfolding. So, with that being said, and these were his words, I just felt like it was time for a change. He also said, I think that Antonio Pierce was building a culture here. Okay? As I flipped the page. Okay? He also said, and Mark Davis also said, in terms of Antonio Pierce, the team did not quit. And that was the toughest thing about making the change. Okay? So he's telling you guys that it was tough to get rid of Antonio Pierce. And even with Antonio Pierce building a culture here and doing, what he felt was good, it was time to move. Okay? I will say this in regards to his words for Antonio Pierce. You can tell that Mark Davis was really rooting for Antonio Pierce to work out. But when you look at Andy Reid, Sean Payton, Jim Harbaugh, all coaches that are decorated with experience, it makes it understandable as to why he felt like he needed to make a change. I will say this in regards to the other side, and that's why, if you've seen the thumbnail, I said Mark Davis was saying it how it is, telling it like it is. Because there was a lot of people out there saying that, Antonio Pierce lost his job because he wasn't calling timeouts and stuff like that. That wasn't what Mark Davis said. and I'll leave that there. You guys can, digest that on your own. But all these speculations as to why Antonio Pierce got released, I don't think that was the case. I think the case was the season just didn't work out. And seeing all the other coaches that are decorated, it would have been a tough climb even for a coach like Antonio Pierce. So it was time for us to move on to Pete Carroll. Now, those are different, you know what I'm saying? Those words of release sound way different from what he said about Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? You can go back and listen to it again for yourself and hear the tone that he said things about Josh McDaniels and Ziegler versus what he had to say about Antonio Pierce. Okay? Now, in the words, the words that he had for Pete Carroll, as to why he deserved the job and the reason why he wanted the job, he talked about how, he liked what he was doing over there with the Seahawks and how the Niners were dominant, but they weren't dominant against the Seahawks. And me in the Bay Area, I'm just saying, For those that are in the Bay Area, I know a few people, you know what I'm saying, still in the Bay Area, maybe in the 408 like me, but you know, us in the Bay Area, I put it out and I said, hey, the Raiders drafted, hired, the Niners daddy. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what it's been. You know what I'm saying? Pete Carroll over at the Seahawks, despite what the Niners wanted to do, they could not beat the Seahawks. You know what I'm saying? So definitely we were able to pick up the Niners daddy. All right. So Bay Area, you can throw that at some Niner fans if you want. Tell them Raider Twuan said it. All right. Anyway, but he liked what he saw, with the Seahawks against the Niners, the whole Legion of Boom, the whole culture that was cultivated over there in Seattle. And, he wants to bring that type of swagger over to the Raiders. But more important is that Mark Davis said that he wanted to be a Raider. That's right. Mark Davis said Pete Carroll wanted to be a Raider. Now, this is where it's going to get spicy. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and go ahead and share this out, because I need this to go to Raider Nation and every other people that want to be a nation but can't be a nation. I need them to know this fact here, okay? Go ahead and do that, because I'm about to get into somebody that didn't want to be a Raider. And that is Ben Johnson. Okay? While a lot of people in Raider Nation was on Ben Johnson, I'm going to say that again. While a lot of people in Raider Nation were on Ben Johnson, okay. On Ben Johnson, this is what Mark Davis said. We didn't think we had Ben Johnson. We never made an offer to Ben Johnson. While all these people were going around, all these people talking about, oh, Ben Johnson is coming to the Raiders. Oh, it's going to happen. Oh, Ben Johnson is the answer. Ben Johnson is the guy. Ben Johnson is going to turn this team around. Oh, Ben Johnson. Oh, Ben Johnson. Oh, Ben Johnson. Oh, Ben Johnson. It's almost sounding like a soft porn. All right, look, get off of Ben Johnson, because we were never, let me say it again, we never made an offer to Ben Johnson. All these people, all these beat writers, all these pressers that was talking about, oh, Ben Johnson's going to get, the max. He's going to get $16 million a year and, $15 million a year and da-da-da-da-da. And what does the owner say? The owner that was in these rooms when Ben Johnson did come for an interview, but that was about it. He said, we didn't think we had Ben Johnson. We never made an offer to Ben Johnson. What does that tell me? Like I said, you got to read on the line, but you also got to read in between the line, okay? Ben Johnson was never an option. Why? Because we just left a head coach that was inexperienced And that was the downfall of everybody that was saying Antonio Pierce needed to be fired. Right? So now we're bringing in somebody that has experience. And that's what we were looking for from the beginning. Somebody that can come in and build this culture. Build a foundation that we can go and run with this team. That's what was going on. So everybody that was talking about Ben Johnson and was on Ben Johnson, look, get your Raider gospel together. All right? Now, talking about Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll wants to win now. I repeat, for those that are hard of hearing, Pete Carroll wants to win not 2 years from now, not in 3 years. He said he wants to win now. Okay? That's where we're at. Win now. But I'll say this, because this is what Mark Davis is saying. The pressure's not coming from Mark Davis. Okay? He said, these are his words. He says, I have the patience to get it right. And to be honest with you, I'm okay with that. Get it right. As much as we've been getting it wrong, it's about time we take some time and get it right. And I'll get to why I feel like with Pete Carroll, he wants to win now. I'll get to that soon. So don't miss that, okay? Davis is looking for Carroll to build, and he wants to build with Carroll. Okay? That's Davis' decision for this organization. And it's similar to what he was trying to cultivate here with John Gruden. Okay? That was exactly what he was trying to do with John Gruden. He wants John Gruden to come in here, bring in his guys, bring in the culture, build a regime that can go year to year to year to year to year, where we have longevity, there's continuity, there's familiarity. I can keep going with words. Okay, that's what he's doing it again. Okay, he's committing to a coach and asking for him to establish the culture. Okay, Davis said, it's the Raider way under Pete. I'm going to repeat it again. It's the Raider way under Pete. It's still the Raiders. These are quotations, people. Commitment to excellence. Pride and poise. I get chills every time I just see these words and read these words. And ultimately, just win, baby. Okay? That's what we're trying to do here at the Raiders. So I'm going to say this, and again, here goes the spice, because I've been seeing already, we haven't even got into the 2025 season, and I'm already seeing whack content creators, and I said it, whack content creators talking about we need to tank. You guys go do your homework. You guys go figure out who those people are. But those people are whack, because that ain't Raiders. That ain't the Raider way. Raider way is commitment to excellence, pride and poise. and just win, baby. And don't forget, once a Raider, always a Raider. So for those that are out there talking about tank when we haven't even started week 1, I don't care how many subscribers you have. I don't care how many people go watch your show or go watch your videos or go watch your shorts or whatever else you got going on. This is Raiders. Commitment to excellence. Pride and poise. Just win, baby. Once a Raider, always a Raider. In no way in the Shield is there tanking. And especially giving up before the season's already started. Quit your stuff. And also, with that being said, with once a Raider, always a Raider. Mark Davis said again and confirmed it even more that Pete Carroll badly wanted to be a Raider. And I'm all for that. I want everybody that wants to be a Raider come over here and get the job done being a Raider. No matter where you may come from, no matter where you started, no matter where, you know what I'm saying, wherever you may be. If you are wanting to be a Raider and you stand on commitment to excellence, you stand on pride and poise, and you stand on by any means, just win, baby. Come on over. No matter how young you are, no matter how old you are, if you stand on commitment to excellence, pride and I'm saying this, I'm beating this over the head. Pride and poise, just win, baby. Then come on over and join the Raider Nation. I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited that Pete Carroll, our head coach, with his decorated resume, wanted to be a Raider. But I will tell you this, as I said, like I said earlier, the reason why I believe Pete Carroll wanted to come over is because when you start looking to the left and right in the AFC West, and you got Andy Reid, Sean Payton, Jim Harbaugh, and you have the opportunity to beat all of them in the AFC West, that's what you call some pride and poise. Okay? And Pete Carroll can add that to his resume when the job is complete. When we're hosting that Lombardi Trophy above Andy Reid, above Jim Harbaugh, above Sean Payton. All Hall of Fame coaches in their own right. Let's be honest and let's not be haters. Those guys will get a golden jacket. But if you can add to your resume that you not only brought one team out of the mud, but you brought two teams out of the mud. And not only have you brought one and two teams out of the mud, But you bought 1, 2, and 3 teams out of the mud. And is the oldest head coach in the NFL to get it done. By all means, just win, baby. So, hey, I'm excited again about Mark Davis clearing some things up. Clearing up the fact that Ben Johnson, yes, we brought him in for an interview, but all these dollar amounts that were linked to him, it wasn't on the table. Ben Johnson was not an option. Antonio Pierce, you know, just with some tough breaks. And it was time for us to build the culture and the foundation and have someone that was proven and has knowledge on how to do that. So shout out to Mark Davis for the presser. I'm encouraged. Not saying that Mark Davis is going to get everything right. And I'm not saying that, hey, I'll say this too. We don't know the results of what's going to happen with Pete Carroll. But the positive is that we have an owner that is willing to continue to try in order to get to where we want to be. He's not giving up. He's not folding in. You know what I'm saying? He's not throwing in the towel. And he's going to continue to try in order to get the job done. And sometimes, you guys, as much as we may not like it in the Raider Nation, it may take some patience. And I think Mark Davis, as an owner, like he said, I have the patience to allow it to work, allow it to cook. And why not try it with Pete Carroll? You guys already know how I feel earlier about who I wanted at head coach. I wanted somebody with experience and or, you know what I'm saying, if we did have Ben Johnson, since everybody was so hyped about him, I wanted an all-star cast. But I think what benefits the Raiders right now, and I'm saying this for right now, this is exactly what we needed. We needed a veteran, proven head coach that can build the culture, establish the foundation, and then be able to pass it off when that time comes. And I think Pete Carroll's that. You guys let me know in the chat how you guys feel. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Put a 3 in the chat. Actually, no, put a 4 in the chat if you want me to put the link up. If you guys want to come on and talk about Mark Davis presser, Pete Carroll. As I look at your guys' comments here, shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you guys hit that like button. And if you like what I'm putting down, go ahead and subscribe. Netty Ray Nate, good to see you, my guy, if I haven't shouted you out today. Arnie, good to see you. See, I got it right. Shout out to you, Arnie. Good to see you. Raider Rebels in the building, my guy. SoCal Sal, blessings to you today. J Dog, blessings, my guy. Shouting out to everybody in the chat, and then I'll read what you guys got because I see you guys writing some stuff. Okay. Let me. Daniel Berry said, "What's up?" Yes, sir. I like to read your guys' comments, you know what I'm saying? I really do. You know, comments, questions. I love when you guys got questions too, because you know I love to answer those to my best ability. And I appreciate that you guys trust me to answer your questions though. You know what I'm saying? There's a and I know this is a little off, but it means a lot, right? When someone asks you a question, it's not because not only that they want to know, but then they believe that you have the answer or you have an input to the discussion. So when you guys ask me questions, I feel honored that you guys believe in me enough to answer your questions, and definitely I do my homework so I can have my Raider gospel on whatever it is that you guys ask. Arnie Garza said, Arnie Garza said, with PG back and Bevel OC, Wilson as QB, what is the floor? That's a good question. You have that's a really good question, Arnie, because now you have a defensive coordinator that's going to have everything that he, you know, has worked with already. You know, obviously he's going to build onto that, right? And bring some guys back, whether it's free agency or, you know, or the, you know, draft, right? Bevel offensively has rapport with Russell Wilson, so you don't have to worry about the learning gap between the quarterback and the offensive coordinator. It's just making sure, you know, the O-line and all the other various pieces get along with that, right? I think just right now, I think, and this is on paper with everybody healthy, right? You know, because I think Christian Wilkins was a huge blow. When we got hit twice, we got, you know, Christian Wilkins, and then we lost Devontae. I think we'll get to at least 10 wins. I think we'll be somewhere in that 10 win, you know what I'm saying, bracket. And that's just right now. That's just right now. You know, don't hold me to that, you know what I'm saying, at the end of 2025. I usually get my when the schedule gets released, I usually give a one right there, and you guys can hold me to that, even though I, you know, yeah, I'll just say it like that. You guys can hold me to that one, but you give me a super early prediction on that one, Arnie, sorry. Blah, blah. Yeah, SoCal Sal, shout out to the congregation. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and join the congregation and hit that subscribe button. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nutty Ray Nate covered all grounds. He said floor 0, ceiling Super Bowl. I get it right now. It's kind of hard to call, but hey, I'm trying to do my best. I'm trying to do my best. You know what I'm saying? Arnie said AP lost his job because of 10 straight losses. 0-6 in the division, plus 1 3 games against backup QBs. Yeah, you know, we can all have our speculation as to why, you know, but I'm going off of what Mark Davis said. He said 3 out of the 4 other teams went to the playoffs in the AFC West, and we weren't one of them. And what do they have that we don't? They don't have. We don't have an experienced head coach. So we got one. We got one. And I'll say this. With that being said, it might be up for discussion of who's the most decorated in the AFC West. And I'll leave that for you guys to answer. You guys talking about Riley Leonard. Okay. Riley Leonard actually looks all right. J-Dog put Twuan. Yes, sir. Hey, remember, Twuan is also my IG, but Twuan is also where you can find me on Twitter. Okay. So go ahead and, follow me on Twitter. Okay. Get the Twitter, the X, whatever you want to call it, your ex-girlfriend, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get me on Twitter, okay? Twuan, okay? I do put up Raider content there on Twitter. And when we are live during games, you might be surprised. I might say something, you know what I'm saying? I might have a little hot take during the game. So you do not want to miss that. So definitely Twuan on IG, but Twuan on Twitter or X, however you want to play it. Hey, Arnie, you never lied. It Minshew I do like Zamir though. I ain't gonna lie. I still got some hope for Zamir. For those that may not like that, whatever. I'm not saying he needs to be a starter, but I'm not ready to toss him to the fire yet. Now, if we do get some talent in here, and competition beats him out, then hey, you gotta go because we still gotta make a 53. But to Arnie's comment, Minshew with Zamir White and Getsy can get us to 0. Hey, that I don't think that's a possibility. Because I think this defense, hey, look, I'm telling you, you think our defense was good when we started? Watch when they come back. Watch when they come back this year. I'm thinking our defense is going to be even better this year. Like, and when I'm saying that, I'm discrediting, when we had Darnay Holmes out there and we had, Palomau, full time, and then we had, whatever other safety outside of Merrick, like I'm talking about when we had our real ones, you know what I'm saying, out there and how we were playing then. Like, get ready. I think our defense is going to be on a whole nother level. And that might be a whole nother live and discussion there. Hey, Nate, you got time? Let me know if you got time, Nate. If he's still in the building. If you got time, I'll drop the link. He said, "Oh Lord, help me, God." Hey, look, look. I'll say this back to what Arnie was saying, dog. If Minshew, Zamir White, and Getty was our OC, look, I would just go live every Sunday instead of the watch game. You know how they do the watch. How you guys? What I'm losing the word. When you guys when we watch the game and we go live, watch the game while going live. Y'all know what that word is. And whatever that is, like I'll be like, look, we about to turn this into a prayer service. You know what I'm saying? Come on over to Raider Twuan. You know what I'm saying? The chaplain is on service. You know what I'm saying? Because I still got the title. You know what I'm saying? Chaplain of the nation. You know what I'm saying? So I might have to turn, if that happens, I would have to turn my Sundays during the game into a prayer service. Because that ain't popping. Arnie, I agree with you. With your first, I haven't read the whole thing. But up top, fools goals until we get a proven OC with proven quarterback. Hey, it just depends on how. And you said Wilson and Bevel could be our solution, right? I'm still interested to see who we're going to bring in at OC. I'm good. Hear me. I'm good with us on defensive side because not only do you have Patrick Graham, but now you have Pete Carroll, giving his input. Okay? And his input's going to work out for us. Okay? But it's going to be up to, again, it really wasn't our defense. It was our offense that was the problem, right? Arnie dropping these questions. Hey, somebody gonna be like, he's biased. Watch. I already know based off of this question. I already know. Get ready, y'all. Get ready. All right. Look. Arnie said, what is your evaluation of Tyree Wilson? Full second season. Do you give him the 5th-year option? Declare or accept? Oh, decline or accept. Okay. Now with Tyree Wilson, I know it sucks that the first year we didn't really get anything out of Tyree, and that was because of injury. And they knew that. The organization, Ziegler, McDaniels, and all of them, they knew that. So as much as I like to draft guys and have them ready to go, when we call on them, that wasn't really the case with Tyree Wilson. Now, his second year, which is this year, this past year, I think Tyree Wilson did well. I'm not saying that he was an all-pro. I'm not saying none of that, but we actually saw some good things out of Tyree Wilson. And that is what you would want to see out of him in his first year. Now, first year, you got to scratch that. Well, at least I am. I'll say it like that, because every man is for themselves. Every woman is for themselves. Let me not exclude. So I'm taking this past year as his 1 year, and I think that was well. He has 2 more years to go. He has 25, and then he also has 26. Now, based on those years, we'll indicate if we need to give him that 5th-year option. If he's actually going to be worth giving that 5th-year option. Okay? But I will say this in regards to Tyree Wilson, and I've said this multiple times. Tyree needs to stay here until his contract is up. We don't need to be, just get rid of Tyree. Okay? There's room for him on this roster. And the only way that I'm getting rid of a rookie is if he's not behaving, or we've brought in talent that has flushed him out number-wise. Okay? If there was a situation where, Tyree was on the team, but then we brought in some D linemen in the draft, and they're just outplaying Tyree, and Tyree now is the 5th defensive end on the depth chart, and we need to make some roster moves, because we got to make, saying, when you're at the bottom, you can just be a roster move. You can get moved for a corner. You can get moved for you could be a D lineman and get moved for a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? It could be anybody, right? So if Tyree slid that far down and still is under cheap labor, then hey, you can go. But I'm not just letting him go, and we still got him under the rookie contract. Okay? We did that with a whole bunch of other guys, and they were in the playoffs. Okay? We let a lot of people go early after drafting them, and they were in the playoffs. So I'm not in the business of that with Tyree again, but those would be the only 2 ways that I would see Tyree leaving, is if we if he just, we brought in guys and they, obviously Pete Carroll wants to compete. So if he got beat out that way and then he's just the bottom of the depth chart, okay. Sorry about that. You got to go. But I'm not rushing Tyree out. And again, we got 2 more years. Okay? We got 2 more years to make that decision on if we want to keep him for on that 5th-year option. But it's all, based on his worth and his money. Okay. Hey, Nutty Raider Nate, get that money while there's money to be made. Okay. Thanks for coming in. Hey, Nate, I'm saying this publicly because I'm gonna put myself on this. Me and you gotta get together and go eat. You know what I'm saying? We gotta do that. There's no reason. You know what I'm saying? We in the same. You know what I'm talking about. All right. So we gotta go eat. All right. I'll hit you up on IG. We definitely got to do that. All Eyes on G is in the building. One of my quality, top class deacons is in the building. Yes, sir. All Eyes on G. All right. Good to see you, my guy. Make sure you guys are sharing this out, liking it. You know what I'm saying? Deacons, do what you guys got to do. You know what I'm saying? Share this, get it out. You know what I'm saying? I know they may not catch the live, but it might be a replay. All Eyes on G is dropping some stuff over here. He said, I heard Tom Cable could be the O-line coach, and I'm not thrilled at all about that. Hey, look. Hey, you know what's so funny? Hey, All Eyes, I was watching like a couple of maybe an hour or so before I went live. I was watching the interview that he had with Marshawn Lynch on the Get Got podcast. You know, Marshawn Lynch's podcast, and Tom Cable was on there. And I was like, and I was sitting there like watching. I was like, watch this fool be our O-line coach. So it's funny that you said that. It's funny you said that. Hey, but you know, Pete did say he's gonna bring in some new and old. So it just depends on. I think it really just depends on who is our OC. All Eyes on G is dropping the hot fire. He already know my word. Tyree is cheap labor. Okay? Cheap labor. Keep the money down so we can have a whole lot of money in free agency. Right? So we can, we can throw money at T. Higgins, and we can throw money at, the top running back, and we can throw money at the, the top, whatever. Okay? Free agency. That's how you make it rain on them O's. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't say the H-O-E, I said the O's. Okay? That's how you make it rain on them O's. All right? So, hey, look. Tyree Wilson, cheap labor. You keep the money down. Then you can ball out and retain, right? For an example, I gave you guys, not too long ago, I gave you the massive list of guys that had expiring contracts, including a lot of the starting guys on our defense. So, if we were just forking out money, then we wouldn't be able, to be in a position to say, oh, yeah, we got the money to get Spillane, or we got the money to get Merrick, or the money to get, to add to, Max Crosby, right? Who knows? We might have to pay for a corner. Just say. Right? We got to make a decision on Nate Hobbs, right? So there's a lot of things that still are moving, shaking, and folding in regards to this organization, but I appreciate that Mark Davis has clarified some of this foolery that's been put out here in these media waves. I would consider you guys to go back and listen to that, press conference again with Mark Davis, so you know what the head is talking about. Okay? We know that he doesn't talk a lot in regards to press conferences and let us know what's going on, on his end. So it was good to hear from the boss of the boss what's going on. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I like it. I appreciate everybody coming in. You know what I'm saying? Listening. Those that are working, those that are, getting that money. Those that are handling business. And whatever else you're doing. You know what I'm saying? As long as you ain't playing with yourself. Because you need to subscribe. All right? Hit that subscribe button. You guys, hey.
Fucking Stizan.
Twuan, hey Twuan, hit that like button. Why? Because I like you.
And remember, you're a blessing. Be a blessing to someone else. And hey, woo! Let's go! Raiders.
What up, low?
Today is a day when our heroes of the past become our legends of the future. Time never really stops for the great ones. We wrap them in a cloak of immortality and remember what great people they were. We recognize you, Virginia Man, his sons Mike and Joey. They were a football family, so that John can pursue his dreams. To Raider Twuan and a tribute to John Madden and Al Davis. We declare that the fire that burns the brightest in the Raiders organization is the will to win. Ladies and gentlemen, the Madden family.
Hey, Raider Twuan here. You must watch one of my videos or lives. Thank you for watching. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and it's right there. Or if you want to watch one of my videos, watch it right there. And let's go, Raiders.